Hi, welcome back to the Final Bros podcast. I'm everywhere. I'm so Julia. I'm Dorcas Horror.
And I'm 30, flirty, and thriving, and I'm Doll Thighs.
And on today's episode, we're talking about the Boule Brothers Dragula Season 6, Episode 3. Ooh, Holiday of Horrors. Dragula. Dragula.
Yeah, this is the holiday episode, which, by the way, why did they do the holiday episode, like, October 12th? Such a weird time to do, like, the holiday episode.
Yeah.
Maybe they thought the scheduling of the release was going to be different. I don't know.
Maybe they just wanted a wide variety of holiday looks because they'd have more contestants.
Oh, true. Yeah,
it's like, what if there was only like 4 people and 3 of them all did the same holiday? That would be terrible.
Well, I do feel like with less people, it's easier to not do the same holiday. Also, nobody did Christmas.
I'm shocked. Okay, we'll get into it.
Same.
Yeah, we just discussed this because we did accidentally record things without recording them properly. So we do need to like remember to talk about things we just talked about.
Very professional.
It won't make any sense to y'all, but it makes sense to us. Anyways, we start the episode with a bunch of fucking bullshit nonsense again because they're just yapping at the long table room in the boudoir, rehashing the same shit we've been talking about for the past 2 episodes, and nobody cares. Or at least we don't.
Petty drama that's not that petty and not interesting at all. Like, really just like mundane, like complaining about my office job kind of drama, but less interesting.
Cut the first 10 to 15 minutes of these episodes out. I'm going to start skipping them.
I know, it really
skipping the
like
first 10 to 15 minutes because
there's no reason to watch it.
They're just waiting for the extermination to people to come back, and they don't know what to talk about. They literally are just like trying to kill time, and it's not exactly thrilling.
I know, and it's like, it's unfortunate because I know they're trying to recreate what they do in Drag Race, which is that they bring them all in and then they fight. But in Drag Race, I feel like the producers are a little better at actually like getting them worked up about like petty shit. I think also
the 2
helps.
petty people are currently working through an extermination. So who's there to stir shit up? No.
Yeah. I also was going to say, I think another thing about Drag Race is that they're sequestered. So they're losing their fucking minds on Drag Race. Like by week 3, there's a level of psychological torment that's happening to those people that the Dragula contestants are not experiencing because as far as I'm aware, they're allowed to like go home, hang out with their friends. Like I'm pretty sure they're allowed to just go be a person, right? Like they're not sequestered the way Drag Race contestants are.
I don't know.
I don't think they are. I could be wrong, but like we've had moments before in previous seasons where they're like, we went to the fabric store together, and it's like implied that they were like hanging out outside of.
Yeah, I don't think it's as strict. Yeah, it's not as sequestered.
So I do think that the key to making good reality TV is locking people away in a hotel room and don't let them have any friends or family or sex for like a month. Yeah, take away their phone. They have to fucking jerk it to old maiden type of magazines.
I love when they share stories about how they like swap their materials around. They like trade materials, so it's like fresh and new.
Yeah,
that's
exciting. Really sad. I don't know what I would do in that situation. But anyway, so they have a really boring, petty conversation. It doesn't go anywhere. The moral of the story is that Pi and Asia have trust issues, but also maybe still want to have an alliance, as if this is Survivor, but it's not, so this doesn't really matter. And then they do a mini challenge.
Well, Desiree Dick comes back. Woo! Desiree's back for another episode. And not more than that. But yeah, they do their fright feat of the week, which is a sponsored placement. It's a sponsor spot for Timey, which is a all-inclusive dating service. Ooh. And I don't know. Do you have positive feelings about this dating service?
No, I feel like I'm always going to think about people throwing up whenever I think about this dating service.
Great.
Because that's quite literally the
I wonder how much they paid for this.
I know, right? The advertisement for Timey is quite literally a bunch of drag performers eating pig's brains and vomiting on camera.
Yeah, so they have to create a profile, and then they also have to sit in front of a camera and do like a video dating service type of shtick where they're eating these chocolate, pig's brain, and fish sauce bonbons, and they're supposed to keep their composure and be flirty while not throwing up. Most of them do.
Yeah, most of them throw up. I think Asia did really well. She was able to keep it all down. I always wonder with these kinds of competitions, like, what if they're vegan? Like, you know, some of these freaks have to be vegan, right? Do they just like pretend that they're not for a day and they just eat the pig brains, or like?
I think so.
Is there a vegan option? They mix together some like barley and fucking, I don't know, Vegemite or some shit. Like,
I wonder how many would just opt for the vegan option because it's less gross.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, also, what is the like safety on eating pig brains? Can you just eat that and that's fine?
I don't know.
Aren't there like a lot of reasons you're not supposed to eat animal brains, like
Probably.
prions and shit? Well, hopefully they don't die. I guess that's. I truly am waiting for the day that a Dragula contestant dies. Like the stuff that they do on this show, it's shocking that there haven't been any like serious safety. Like there's been more serious injuries on Drag Race than there have been on Dragula, from what I understand, which is crazy.
But yeah, Asia Consent wins the fright feat. So she gets her lifetime gold subscription to Timey. Woo! Yay. And she also gets to cast the mirror curse on somebody. Which means they have to get ready for the stage show, for the floor show, with only a compact mirror.
Yeah. And she casts it on gray matter, which I think is a bad decision. And I think that because, I don't know about you, but to me, gray matter's makeup is not super complicated. Like, am I wrong?
I mean, it's not simple. Like that's
really?
It's a lot of
I
it's
feel
a
like
lot
wears
of
a lot of like masks and stuff.
Well, it's like a lot of prosthetics, which still requires like a lot of precise control, and you have to blend it in, and you have to.
Well, I guess it's
still a lot of work.
Have like the prosthetic mouth thing today.
Yeah,
I just feel like with a lot of prosthetics, you can kind of paint them before you put them on your face, and then like. I guess it would be hard to like do the hand mirror and put something on your face.
Yeah, well, like it requires two hands to get it on your face, really. So if you're having
I don't
to
know,
like,
but is that? But would that fuck you up more, or if you were doing like a lot of like blending and stuff like what Auntie Heroin does?
Well, Auntie Heroin got ready with one hand last week and didn't have too much trouble.
True. She didn't really have an issue.
Ultimately, I don't think this is one of the worst curses that you could give somebody.
Yeah.
It's
nothing has come
inconvenient.
close to making Cynthia doll get ready in a porta potty. That was the worst thing that they've ever done to a contestant as far as like a mini challenge curse goes.
Yeah.
So, because she also, not only was she in a porta potty, but it was dark and she had a little hand mirror. So she had like a fucking 5-way curse going on. So yeah, I don't think this was that bad anyway. I mean, I know a lot of drag performers that choose to get ready in just like a small compact mirror or like a hand mirror because like sometimes that's all you have. So
it ultimately didn't really hurt Grey Matter, so
no, they were definitely a top,
really a big
I think,
deal
of the week, right?
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, the challenge for the week is they need to create looks inspired, because it is the Filth challenge. It's the Filth challenge of the season.
Disgusting.
It needs to be it needs to be in the forefront of the design is Filth as the primary directive. They're creating.
Do you think you would do good at a Filth challenge?
Probably not. I don't do a lot of filthy things.
I think I'd be okay. The thing that would get me is that, like, I'd be, like, minding my business, and some bitch is over here, like, throwing up on the stage. Like, so I'd be backstage, like, gagging, because this bitch is, like, putting her fingers down her throat, and I hate when people vomit. But I think I could do okay. I think I could
do fine. I could make a filth look. It's just not something I do normally.
When it comes to, like, the filth stuff, I like when they go sex, personally. I think for me, that's like the fun filth. You know what I mean? Like, remember when, I think it was Dolly that did like jerking off like pantomime
Yeah.
thing, and it was very like artful and like fun, but still like filthy. I love that kind of stuff. Like I think that's really nice. I hate when somebody just goes up on stage and literally vomits and they're like, this is my filth challenge. Like, we get it. You made yourself puke. Like, anyone can do that. It's disgusting. Nobody wants to see that. Who did that today? Was that
Auntie Heroin?
Yeah. She's on my list now. I don't like her anymore. Sorry, Auntie Heroin.
But yeah, what they have to do today is they have to create looks inspired by what are typically very family-friendly, waspy little like American family holidays. So things like Christmas,
Arbor Day,
Valentine's Day, Easter, like all these things that you think of where it's like a family would go out and have a picnic or a family gathering, like very PG holidays that are very, you know, sterile, and they need to do something filthy with them. And so this is where we get to one of the most insane editing things I've seen on television, if you remember. Because they're starting to do the thing where they're just going around and they're just talking about like, oh, what are you doing for this episode? And they're just like describing what they're doing.
This was an insane choice by the editor, director, whoever made this decision.
So they're like going around and they're just doing their usual talking while they're working on their outfits. But then like people start having breakdowns.
Fucking Majesty.
It's three different scenes happening overlapped on top of each other. They don't let one scene play out and then play the next scene. So there's three scenes happening.
Like a Michael Bay movie. Yeah. Except like two of the conversations are normal everyday conversations that you would have as a artist working in a group of people. The other conversation is somebody having a full on emotional breakdown, and they're interweaving that shit as if there's some thematic through line.
It's so jarring because we have Pi and Asia off in the cauldron talking about if they want to continue, like if they actually want to go through with their alliance.
They're having like a game strategy conversation.
There's Majesty. Who else is with Majesty?
A lot of people are with Majesty.
It's like three people. Majesty. It's three people Majesty, together. Aurora. It's Majesty and two people. Aurora and
I can't remember.
Was it Jaharia?
It might be.
Those three are having a conversation where Majesty's having a full-on emotional breakdown talking about how a previous like lover boyfriend of theirs just up and left them and abandoned them one day, and they're having that conversation
in this sequence where it's like we have Pi and Asia, and they're like, I don't know if we should be an alliance. And then jump cut to Majesty going, and my uncle died a week ago. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, she's like breaking down and freaking out because like her life is falling apart. And she's here at this like competition TV show. And they, for some reason, feel the need to weave this into like the most mundane conversations. I don't even remember what the third conversation was about.
There was a third conversation with other people talking about their looks and what they're doing or whatever. And they're just randomly cutting between the three conversations in different rooms. And it's insane. And it doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense. It was so confusing.
Yeah, that goes on for way too long.
Yeah.
And in the end, there's no conclusion on whether or not they're having an alliance.
Well, Pi says, I'm actually not sure if I'm ready to commit to an alliance just yet.
Right. Which, like, who cares? Like, this alliance plot line that doesn't fucking matter because this is not Survivor. Like, why is this the entire plot of this episode?
I don't know.
So anyway, they're all doing holidays. What are their holidays?
So their holidays are, Aurora is doing New Year's Day, New Year's baby.
Right.
Jaharia's doing birthday. It's going to be like a birthday clown experience. Yuri's doing Valentine's Day. Auntie Heroin is kind of doing what I would think is the bad obvious choice, which is Halloween. Because it's like,
Yeah.
Don't do that one. It's too obvious and it's too like already like horror themed. So don't do that one. But Auntie Heroin does it. Asia's doing Mother's Day. We'll get to it. Desiree is doing Thanksgiving. We'll get to it. Gray Matter is doing Easter. Pi is also doing New Year's and doing New Year's Baby. And then Vivi is doing 4th of July, and also Majesty is doing 4th of July. So we got a couple repeats.
Yes. And I have a lot of feelings about a lot of these choices.
Yeah.
I also have a lot of feelings in general about American holidays. And I think that some people here got it. Like some people took this as an opportunity, which is what I think the Boule Brothers wanted, was they wanted a conversation about the subversive nature of American holidays. And like sort of the dark underbelly of that. Because there's a long history of American holidays, especially holidays like Thanksgiving, that have such a dark sort of undertone
so dark,
to them.
but like we celebrate it like it's a happy, cheery day.
Like it's the best thing that's ever happened.
And we just like spread this weird fairy tale lie about history.
So let's start with the Boule Brothers looks.
Yes, let me pull up that picture really quick. So the Boules come out.
Make you feel?
And I have very mixed feelings about these looks because on one hand, I kind of like them because they're like, I will say this, it's not a bad look. They look cute to me.
No,
it's an insane choice for like what they usually do for like on the show. So they come out and they're wearing these ostrich feathered orange, like bright jack-o'-lantern orange, like little mini dresses with like these like masks, these like Halloween like I'm a bank robber masks, where the elastic string goes under their wigs, which I think is hilarious.
Absolutely insane.
Black gloves, black belt. Like, I think it's cute. I don't think it's bad. It's just very like, it's just weird for them because it's basic. It's
I don't like this. I don't like anything
think it's
about
cute, but I think it's weird.
I think the dresses look cheap. I think
that's just
I like
they don't look
gloves.
expensive.
The fisting gloves are nice. I always love a fisting glove, but like the dresses look cheap. The wigs are fine, but I don't like when people do that thing where they've got like a bunch of curly bangs and they put them in a hairnet, and like that's
I think it's fine because from far away you don't see the hairnet really.
Yeah, but we weren't far away. We were very close up. And I think that's one of the things about the Boule Brothers that I think is really, it's something that even 6 years in that I feel like they haven't figured out, is that like you are being filmed close up with HD cameras.
Yeah.
So all of these little like fucking like cheap little details on their dresses that are like not really finished properly and stuff like that, it doesn't look good. So like either have your camera people pull back, like stop showing me a close-up of the hem of your dress that looks wonky, or just have better dresses made. Like I feel like those are kind of the two options to fix this, because in the picture that they post on Instagram, it looks cute. Like it looks cute when I'm looking at it from far away, but the way they decided to film it for the show, they just do so many extreme close-ups on the details of these dresses, and it's they don't look great. They like, this is the kind of dress. I remember talking to James Mansfield about this, where she said like she's seen so many like $4,000 dresses where like up close and personal it looks like complete garbage. And I'm just like, that doesn't surprise me, because like people have these dresses made for like theater and they're not thinking about like, what is this going to look like when a camera zooms in on it?
Yeah.
And like these seams are puckering and this hem is wobbly and shit. Anyway, it's not my favorite. It's the honestly, this is the first look for the Boule Brothers. I'm giving this a nay.
You're giving it a nay?
Sorry,
Wow.
big Boule, little Boule.
I'm so torn because I don't think it's an impressive look, but I do think they're cute.
I get the idea of it, is that like it's holidays, they're Halloween. I understand the concept behind it. But it's just like, I don't know. Is it wrong for me to expect more? Is it wrong for me to expect that the hosts of the show,
when they stepped onto the main stage, in these dresses, I was like, what? What's going on?
Like, the hosts of the show should be like the pinnacle of drag that the contestants are looking up to.
I think they look comfortable though.
Well,
you don't even have to be corseted underneath that. Like, you just got the little belt. Comfy.
Yeah, I mean, their legs look nice. I don't know.
I still think they just look cute, so I'm gonna give them a slay anyways. It just
looks like the kind
for
of
me
look,
because I
like,
think it looks nice.
If you saw them like walking down the street or something, like this is what I would expect to see them in, or like a convention. This is like something you wear to a convention.
This is what they were to like a like horror con or whatever.
Yeah, something where you have to be standing around all day. Like that makes sense to me. But like
I love how they still did all their eye makeup under the masks though. I think that's so funny. That too, yeah. But I like it. I'm giving it a slay. I don't know. I love this color orange and black together. I love it.
Yeah,
and I
do
love
like
the feathers. I think the feathers are nice.
Okay, it's fine. But
I mean, we can talk about.
I'm sorry. I hold the Boulets to such a higher standard. I feel like that's fair because they're the hosts of the show. Like, if RuPaul comes out dressed like shit, I will call that out too. Like, because she does. Sometimes RuPaul comes out dressed crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But our guest judges for the week are Tananarive Due and Tatiana Maslany.
Right. And
first of all, she's like a horror historian. She's been a repeating guest judge, and I like her.
Yes.
And the other one is an actress I've never heard of.
She was from. Where was she from? What did she do?
Look on her Wikipedia.
She's famous for something.
Orphan Black.
Oh, Orphan Black.
That's probably why she's here for Orphan Black. I've never seen that.
Yeah, I've heard good things about it though.
Yeah, we could watch it sometime, maybe.
Yeah, good for them. Okay, great.
Anyways,
so let's get into the looks.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get into these looks. Let me pull them up really quick.
Our first look is Aurora.
Where did it go? Oh, here it is. Yeah, so Aurora comes out doing New Year's Day, New Year's Baby. And I think overall, I do think it's a good look. It's not the strongest of the bunch, but I kind of like it. I like the color palettes. I think she should have done a little bit more with like to make it seem New Year's. Because like when I think of New Year's, I think of like gold and black and like confetti and things like that. And there was none of that involved. It just looked like baby.
Yeah.
But I mean, she's covered in throw up. She has a gross, like, vomity substance in her bottle that she pours on herself. She has a shitty diaper. For Aurora, she's doing a lot of filth. She's definitely not glamorous this week. You can't say she's like coasting on glamour.
I agree. I think for me, I struggle with the people who did repeats because they both kind of did the same concept. Yeah. So like, we'll get to them in a minute, but like both Pie and Aurora, they played on the concept of like babies are gross. Yeah. And that was the idea, which babies are gross does not a commentary on the holiday that is New Year's Eve.
The Boulets didn't specifically say they want you to make a commentary, but
I
think that's the smart thing to do.
Yeah, like I feel like that's kind of the
people
idea
who did
well
did that. So yeah, I think that is the smart thing to do in a challenge like this. But it wasn't it wasn't a stated objective.
No, it was just make a filthy holiday. So like I get how they got there. I wish that we were talking more about the holiday New Year's Eve, not just babies are gross. And that kind of was their biggest critique of Aurora, who was in the bottom, right? Or like was she in the bottom? She was
amongst the bottom, yeah. She ended up being safe, but she was counted amongst the bottom. Their critique was essentially,
you're just a gross baby. Like, you're not really giving a holiday. So, I kind of agree. It was gross.
Yeah, it was gross. She wasn't just trying to be glamorous again, so nobody can accuse her of that. And I think she just didn't use enough of the actual like New Year's iconography.
Yeah, and there was no commentary on New Year's.
There wasn't like a
New
unique
Year's,
perspective on New
you can
Year's.
certainly talk about like what's scary about New Year's, the future, the concept of time, the passage of time.
Yeah,
also
babies.
global warming. Like there's so many directions you can take this, like a sort of like the eternal doom of like moving forward in time is kind of the direction I would have gone. Like I would have gone way more existential if I was going to do New Year's, but yeah, we got baby, so there you go.
Cuckoo gaga.
For me, I'm gonna say this is a nay for me. I just don't like it.
I'm gonna have to give it a nay as well, just because while I don't think it's an awful look in and of itself, it didn't really just read as New Year's. It didn't read as the holiday for me enough.
No. I also just don't like it. I don't think it looks that good, to be honest. As far as like baby looks go, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not.
It's just not. It just didn't wow me a ton. And Aurora usually wows me, even when she looks bad. She usually looks. It usually at least still captures my attention. Like in the first episode, the look was not good, but did I still actually kind of like the mummy? Yeah.
She's also playing with the vomit trope, with which once again I already said I'm very biased against the vomit situation. I just don't like it. I think it's gross, and I know that's the point, but it's like I don't know. At least she didn't literally vomit. But yeah, not my favorite.
But next,
next is
Jaharia, who is doing birthday and is a birthday clown with its ass out. I didn't hate the look overall. It's very colorful. I do still have clown fatigue.
I was going to say, I think Jaharia was a clown last week.
No, she was
she a clown
she was that
before?
Weird anime doll thing.
Oh, she was. Was she a clown the week before? We've seen Jaharia do clown.
Yeah, Jaharia was clown for the promo look, the Meet Our Monsters look.
Right.
And yeah. I don't think she was a clown for. No, she wasn't a clown. She was the creature from the Black Lagoon. Or the iconic monsters. It's just I still have clown fatigue, so that already lowers it in points. It's like a whole letter grade just for a clown right now.
I just want to say this might be controversial but brave belief. Birthday is not a holiday. Period.
I think it's a holiday of sorts. I think it's especially like if you're talking about like a family holiday, families treat kids' birthdays like their holidays. They plan big parties around them. I think it counts. But I don't think this did. Okay. My God.
I'm just saying, it's like, I want to see a fucking holiday.
Okay. But this is what we have. We have Jaharia being a clown again. And I think it's interesting, but... And there is a but. I don't think it really went anywhere filthy. The filthiest thing that she does is she shows that her ass is out. And she
sits on a cake.
She does a split on a cake. And I thought she was going to do like a disgusting cake farts reference.
Same.
But she didn't even really do that. She just did a split on a cake and went like,
Yeah, no, I wanted her to come out and be like, you know what I like the most? And then she does cake farts.
Yeah, if that happened, I mean, that's what I was like literally saying that while it happens. I was like, you know what my favorite part is? Like, I just wanted it to go there. And it just, like, the cake wasn't even like chocolate frosting to make it look like doo-doo.
Yeah.
It was just
like she could have gotten a whoopee cushion and like rigged it between her legs and like actually made some loud fart noises.
I just didn't get filth, and I don't know why they didn't really talk about the fact that there was not really filth involved.
I have no idea. I'm not sure why she was safe this week, because also if we're just talking about the look, this was one of the worst clowns I think we've seen so far.
It's not great.
There's really nothing spectacular or special about it.
Like I just don't really like it.
No, I don't either.
It didn't really go anywhere interesting for me. So I'm gonna say nay. Sorry.
I just want more like, is it wrong for me to expect them to look fashionable? Like,
yes.
I feel like it's one of these things that I struggle with Dragula, where it's like, it's not impossible to hit these challenges and still look fashionable. And there are always people every week that do it, but then there's always people every week that like don't understand what fashion is. You know what I mean?
Well, fashion isn't really the directive. Like, you don't have to be fashionable to do Dragula, really.
You don't have to be, but look at the ones that tend to win.
It helps. But I'm just saying, like, to be like a drag monster, you don't necessarily need to be fashionable.
I would say that some of the most famous contestants were all very fashionable. Sigourney Beaver, Vander Von Odd, like they're like, these are like really fashionable drag performers. So I don't know. I guess I kind of just like, I prefer when the looks like look good. I feel like, is that so crazy to say?
You think I look fashionable?
I mean, we're not talking about us. Listen. we don't have to look fashionable. I'm sitting here wearing a fucking Overwatch t-shirt with the sleeves ripped off. This is a podcast, okay? This is a self-produced podcast that we're recording in our houses. The standards are different, period. Anyway.
Okay, great. Well, it's a nay for me. I just don't really...
Nay for me as well.
It's just...
Great.
I've seen worse. I've seen better. And up next is Yuri as Valentine's Day. Coming down as a Valentine's bear with a box of chocolates that has a pussy on front.
Yeah.
That she
maybe it's
reaches
a
into
hole.
and pulls out delicious intestine treats.
Yeah,
and then douses herself
sure.
in chocolate sauce that's supposed to look a little like doo-doo. I will say, I do like the look. I like this Care Bear look. I like the makeup.
Yeah.
I think it looks nice. And I don't think the look is what landed her in the bottom. It was basically the performance. Which, once you see her, like, not in the fully edited, like, floor show performance mode, and they just play straight, like, what it looks like as she's, like, walking down the runway and then just sort of hits a pose and then turns. It's like, oh, I see. Oh.
See, I like the idea of this, but what I would have done is I would have put the box of chocolates on the backside.
Yeah, reach into your ass for some chocolate bonbons.
Yeah, and then I would have fisted it on stage. Like, I think that would have taken it a lot farther. And she could have done more of like a poop, like a feces kind of reference versus like bloody intestines. But I think it's a good idea. It just sounds like the performance was lacking.
Yeah.
I also...
As a look, I give this one a slay, personally. I like the look. I think it's... I like it. And I like the... You know, she's like a sad... Like, my Valentine's Day has been ruined.
I didn't love the shoes she wore for it.
I don't remember.
They just felt kind of like random. I feel like it was just like a black like platform heel, if I remember correctly.
It's not in the image I'm looking at, so I don't know. I didn't remember. It didn't make an impact on me.
It did. I remember thinking, why did she choose that shoe? But otherwise, like, I don't know. I feel like it's a fine look. I don't know. I guess once again, I wanted more of a conceptual look at the holiday, not just like, this is a look tangentially related to the holiday. I would have liked more of like a conversation about like the existential horror of Valentine's Day and the expectation that we need to like find our other half or else we're worthless. You know what I mean? Like this could have gone like a really dark depression kind of like loneliness category for Valentine's Day. I think that would have been more of a fun concept. But I don't know.
Fun.
I think it's fun. It's a fun idea.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give it a slay.
I think out of all the looks that Yuri's served, this one's definitely more in line with what I was expecting Yuri to look like.
Yeah, it looks a lot more finished and higher quality, I think, than a lot of the looks that we've seen so far. But I think what's interesting about Yuri is that she likes things to look kind of like punk and like tattered and stuff, but she does it in a way that's very artful most of the time. And that's what I like about hers, because it's actually having that like artful look to it is what elevates it a little bit more than just wearing like, you know, fishnets with holes in them and shit, which is like most people do when they're going for like the punk aesthetic.
Yeah, I like that at all these different seams on this like bare bodysuit. It's like instead of just doing a solid suit, it's like there's these obvious seams that are like bloody and red with these big stitching. I like those types of details.
It's a nice color story too. It's also the red blood really pops on the white as well.
Yeah,
it's nice overall. I like it a lot actually. The more I look at it, the more I like it.
Yeah. So yeah, I gave it a slay.
Same.
Up next is Auntie Heroin as Halloween, which I think is the worst decision for you to make for this challenge because it's just the most obvious to do as a horror entertainer, as like a horror drag entertainer. Merlin feels the same way.
You don't like it, Merlin? You don't like Auntie Heroin's look? Is it bad?
I would
this
say
one's rough for me.
It's not a bad, like I'll start by saying it's not a bad look. It's very detailed.
I will say this is a bad look.
I just don't like it. Like if it takes no risks for me. Like Auntie Heroin's playing off the idea of like, oh, candy, trick-or-treating, razor blades, drugs in the candy. But like, I don't know. It's just so.
This is literally a bunch of shit glued to an ugly dress. Like that's literally what it is. Like I am so sorry, but there's not really any like. I mean, like most of them, there's not really any high concept here. It's just like Halloween candy. And then she's like covered in blood and like razor. I guess the high concept is like the razor blades and the candy, which is like such a boring Halloween trope. That's not that interesting. And also, it just doesn't look good. I mean, it's like she has this like sculptural dress that's very stiff. And like, I don't know what they use to get that effect, but it's clear that the dress itself does not move or flow like fabric. It's like a structure, basically.
Yeah.
Like she could step out of it and it would hold that form, I'm assuming. Which I think is actually cool if you do something with it. But if you're doing it as a, like that's the look. It kind of reminds me of like, you might not know this reference, but there's an old musical with Bernadette Peters. It's a Sondheim musical called Sunday in the Park with George. And there's shut the fuck up. There's a scene in that musical where her dress is like a set piece and she steps out of the dress and the dress is like still a set piece. And what's cool about it is that they make that like they make use of that feature. It reminds me of that, but like with none of that sort of like artistic creativity. It's just a hard dress because nobody knew how to make this dress look good. I'm feeling really hateful today.
I would have put this one in the bottom, honestly. It's
same.
It's not the worst look I've ever seen, but I think it's the most boring idea you could come up with for a holidays challenge on Dragula. It's like, oh, I'm on Dragula and I'm gonna do a holidays challenge. I'm gonna do Halloween. Like
it's just like pumpkins glued to it. It's not even in the shape of anything interesting. It's like she has this hard dress.
If she came out dressed as a giant plastic Halloween trick-or-treat pumpkin bucket, I'd be like, that's something. Yay.
Yeah.
And if she was pulling out razor blades from it, I'd be like, woo. But it's just a dress covered in candy.
Yeah, it's also. And then she throws up. That was like her performance.
Oh, yeah. And she's like, oh, yeah, I need to be filthy. Ugh.
Right. She quite literally throws up, like, for real, as far from what I understood watching it. It didn't look like it was like a gag. It looked like she stuck her fingers down her throat until she puked, which is a trope that a lot of people do in Dragula. It's fucking gross. We get it. I don't want to see it. I think it's stupid.
So, Slay?
No. Sorry, Auntie Heroin.
I just don't have a lot to say about this look because I think it's just not great.
I have been such an Auntie Heroin defender. And when some of our friends have been like, what do you see in her? Her looks aren't that good. I've been like, no, I think they're pretty good. This is really where I'm turning on Auntie Heroin. This is not a good look. I'm hoping that she gets back to what she was doing before. Because she was serving looks in the previous challenges.
Oh.
This one especially annoyed me.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think it's boring. So I say it's an A.
Yeah.
Something that's definitely not boring is Asia Consent comes out. And
yes.
Oh my God. It's like the show really started. It's like
right.
the floor show finally really started with the filth and the horror. And it was shocking. It was.
And the fashion.
It's fashionable.
Like, that's
shocking.
What I'm talking about.
It's gory. It's hilarious. It's everything I want in a Dragula floor show. Once again, served by Asia Consent. Like
you can serve a silhouette in a dress made out of dead babies.
Yeah.
And that is what she's doing. And that's what a lot of these people don't understand, is that it's like, you can still cinch your waist, you can have big hips and pad and do these big puffy shoulder things, and like, you can do fun fashion silhouettes and carry that into this type of filthy horror drag. And that's what Asia has been giving us every single week.
So Asia comes out as Mother's Day. And she has like smoked cigarettes put out all in her hair. She has a pregnant belly. She has this gory red dress with all this texture, with all these baby doll parts all over it. It's bloody, it's gory, and then she gives herself an abortion on television.
Yes.
Can we say that on YouTube? Whatever, we're not monetized.
I think so, yeah. Abortion isn't like a banned term.
So she cuts open her stomach and pulls out a little tiny baby with the same makeup look on her face that Asia has.
Yeah.
And that made me crack up. I think this was amazing.
Yeah. And I think also it's like, this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about like the high concept dark side of holidays. It's like, what's the dark side of Mother's Day is that 20 states in America live under an abortion ban.
Yeah.
Like, we live in abortion ban America, where Roe v. Wade has been overturned. And there are quite literally women like dying because they can't get medical treatment that they need in the United States. So doing this like nasty, filthy, dead baby abortion look, I think it's great. I think it's like topical. It's smart. It's disgusting.
It's completely irreverent to the holiday. It completely goes against what what everybody celebrates for the holiday. It's awesome. Like, this is 100% my favorite look of the week, hands down. It's an absolute head to toe slay.
Yeah, it looks good too.
It looks good too.
It's like,
it's so
her
good.
proportions are so good. The silhouette's fun. It's still a different, unique silhouette.
The gory,
the big,
filthy gag makes sense for the holiday and the look. It wasn't just like, I'm gonna make myself throw up now.
Right? Yeah, I loved it. Yeah,
it's fantastic. It was perfect.
I'm noticing. I've kind of been ignoring this because I didn't know what to make of it. But every week, Asia will do this thing where she paints like stripes on her chest. I still don't know what to make of that.
I think it's supposed to just look kind of skeletal, kind of. Because when she does it in like the black paint, it looks kind of skeletal. So I think that's all it's supposed to be, is just like something.
I mean, I believe you. It's such an unusual choice, and she always does just like the paint, like she just carries it all the way up her neck too.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It definitely makes her like recognizable because it is so weird. I still don't really understand the point of it, but it's definitely cool. I mean, I think
it's very similar to like how Gray Matter does like the thing along his scalp with like the bone scalp thing. It's like it's just something signature that they do so that even when they're doing like tons of extreme looks that really change how they look as a monster, they have like a recognizable feature where you're like, oh, that's Gray Matter, that's Asia. I recognize that.
It's definitely interesting. It's so different. I've never quite seen something like that before. Okay, obviously slay for Asia.
Yeah, obviously slay. Harsh contrast. We're gonna take a hard turn as Desiree comes out for Thanksgiving with her little picnic basket and oh god, how do we even start with this?
Listen, I want to say that I like the idea of taking Thanksgiving to a dark place. I think Thanksgiving is a great holiday to
idea.
choose.
It's a great choice of holiday.
The problem is that it's also a very difficult and sensitive topic. So I think that playing the villain as like a colonial person, like a colonizer type character, is smart, but also you have to really understand the nuance of that situation to execute it well and to have a real conversation about how evil colonization is. And I think that it was a good idea. The execution did not pan out for a number of reasons.
Yeah.
Reason number one, the outfit sucks, period.
She thought she was serving high fashion.
Yeah,
she really thought she was serving high fashion.
It's not, there's nothing really that interesting about the outfit at all.
It's a bad wig. It's a bad
wig
like
is the choice.
This is her most intricate makeup the entire time.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll say that.
And she comes out with a raw chicken and a giant dildo hanging out of her fly.
Yeah,
and
so she has her little picnic basket because for some reason for Thanksgiving you're going on a picnic? Don't understand that. Ew, she pulled out an actual raw whole chicken.
Right.
And flops out a dildo from her fly.
Yeah, and
she proceeds to like make out with the chicken or whatever and like fuck the chicken and throw it around. It was filthy because it's a real raw chicken. She's gonna get salmonella.
Right. But is that what this is about? Are we having a conversation about like foodborne illnesses? Like sure.
Illnesses at family gatherings, especially feast holidays like Thanksgiving, is no joke because that food sits out in unsafe conditions and it's not kept at the right temperature. So people do get sick all the time at Thanksgivings.
That is certainly a direction she could have taken this. However, I did not get that did not seem to be her intention. It just seemed to be an unfortunate consequence is that the entire set is probably covered in salmonella now.
Yeah. I would not want to be hitting that stage after Desiree.
So she fucks the raw chicken. I take issue with this. And like, I'm not one of those people that like freaks out about this kind of shit. Cause like, I get it. We live in a world where like, this is very normalized. People see a raw chicken. They just think it's like a fucking thing that you buy at the grocery store. But I will say as a vegan, I don't love when people use like actual dead animals or live animals for that matter in performances. I think it's just really kind of shitty. And also I will say from a I guess more of a food standpoint, I don't like when people use like food and waste it in performances. Like I just think all around it's kind of like a lame choice. It's not like she's ruining the world by fucking a raw chicken on stage. I just think it's kind of shitty. It's a waste of food and it's also like kind of like really fucking disrespectful to like the dead chicken that she's fucking.
Well, it's like when you tell me that you're gonna do like a filth challenge based off of Thanksgiving, I'm like, but you don't tackle anything involving like white colonialism or anything. Right. It's just I'm gonna fuck a chicken.
And it's not even a turkey. And that was what the Boule Brothers read her on, is that she didn't even get a turkey. She didn't even get a turkey. That's gonna be the main focal point of your filth look, is I'm doing Thanksgiving, and Thanksgiving's known for what? Turkey. And you bring out a chicken, and it's very obviously not a turkey. Yeah, so, it's just I don't know.
It's a fucking nay. I hate this look. It's so bad. And I'm not even saying like you can get away with the filth challenge and not looking glamorous and put together as long as like you're truly filthy and the concept is strong and it makes you feel something. This didn't make me feel anything. I just wanted to move on to the next look. It was so bad.
Yeah. Big nay. But what I will say is that up next, Grey Matter did a very similar concept.
We're getting back on the road. We're back on the road that Asia had paved, and Grey Matter comes out for Easter as an Easter bunny. This horrifying Danny Darko Easter bunny, horrifying teeth, covered in gross slime, pulls a carrot dick out of his crotch and just goes to town.
Right. Now, once
And
again,
this look and performance was like, ooh, it was like 90% there for me.
Yeah, I think once again we're not really having any real deep conversation about like the holiday of Easter, but I think the look is significantly better.
They do point out that rabbits be fucking.
Sure, is that what Easter's about though? Isn't this a Jesus holiday?
Actually, real Easter is about how rabbits be fucking and people be fucking and making people.
Like Ostara, or is that what it's called?
Yeah, Ostara.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I like. If we're gonna go with
started out as a fertility thing. I'm just saying. It started out with fucking.
I guess that makes sense, yeah.
So we're getting back to the roots of Easter.
Maybe
the dick fruit of Easter. Sorry.
Maybe it would have been fun if they got crucified.
See, that's where I was saying, this is where I would take it and I would split it down to a different way. If I was doing a holiday look and I was doing Easter, I would be choosing, like, if you want to go real, like, irreverent, you want to go real fuck you to the actual holiday, you come out as Jesus. And you come out as Jesus and you start fucking the Easter rabbit. That's what you do. That's what I would be doing.
I kind of, like, I'm not going to lie, I kind of agree. I think if you're going to do a Christian holiday.
Where you go. That's where you
not
go.
Not referencing Christianity at all is kind of lame, in my opinion.
Because Grey Matter created a really cool character here. It's really gross. Yeah. It's really cool. I can't emphasize enough that this is a really cool look and definitely is great. I'm just saying you're so many filthy, irreverent things you can do with Easter.
Yeah, I think Easter Bunny was the safe conceptual choice. The look itself is great. I like the big carrot dick. I feel like they did the same kind of type of performance that Desiree Dix was trying to do. They did it a little better. The slime was really gross. I think there was something about eggs. There was like
a big Easter egg, and it was like filled with this nasty, disgusting, gross slime concoction that they were just writhing in.
Yeah, and I think for me, like, it definitely looks gross. Like, this is not really something I would want to be in the same room as. So, like, that's whenever they do these filth challenges, I just imagine what the fucking set smells like that day with all this fucking goo and vomit and shit.
Well, the thing is, most of the stuff doesn't smell like anything. It's just like goo that's colored stuff, and goo doesn't really smell like anything. It's made with like glue and it's like slime. It just looks gross.
What's it made out of? Are they using like chocolate and like jam and shit?
Well, that's just it. Like I think Yuri probably smells good because Yuri just poured Hershey syrup all over themselves. Like that probably smells good.
True.
I mean, I know Desiree Dick probably smells disgusting, but
yeah, she's also a literal biohazard at this point. Like she should be kept in a separate room since she's quite literally like a petri dish of salmonella. Anyway, I don't know. It's a slay for me. It's a slay.
Grey Matter looks fantastic. Definitely a top look. And coming up next is our second Happy New Year New Year baby. And Pie comes out as a bowling pin.
Please.
No, Pie comes out as the Easter baby. It made me laugh.
I really this has the same issue. We already went over my feelings about this, but I will say I do think that Pie did it better. I think this is a case of like when two people come in with the same concept, you have to compare them. And I think when it comes to filth, when it comes to horror, Pie's baby is a lot scarier.
Well, I love that Pie proportioned their body with like the bodysuit and like the padding to have a baby's proportion. Like these weird baby proportions, and looked more like the New Year's baby because the sash with the hat and being naked is what the New Year baby looks like, not haunted baby as the Boule's called Aurora's haunted baby day or whatever.
You know what I would have loved? I would have loved it if like they started in like a pregnancy belly and they like gave birth And then they like clawed their way out of like a giant pregnancy belly, and then they like had the umbilical cord and they had to like chew it and like gnaw the umbilical cord off. Like that would have been a really gaggy.
Feast on a placenta, maybe.
Yeah, like where's the umbilical cord? Where's all the like blood and like viscera of birth? Like that's the thing that Asia got right about Mother's Day and birth is that birth is fucking gross. Like pregnancy and birth is body horror, but we just pretend that it's like normal because we kind of have to. It's like a cognitive dissonance thing.
Yeah.
But like it's very dangerous. You can die during it. There's a lot of blood. There's a lot of nasty stuff going on. So I feel like going just the route of like baby vomit poopy is like fine, it's gross, but we could have gotten really like, let's do a like full birthing.
Yeah. Well, I think
Live
just
human
judging the
birthing.
look for what it is, I think it does deliver on what Pie set out to do. It is gross baby. It is well done, gross baby. And
it's definitely freaky.
Yeah, it definitely is uncomfortable. It definitely is like, does it really say anything unique about New Year's? No, but I think for this challenge, it does a perfectly fine job.
Yeah, it's the same exact. I also remember, I think it was these two that were weren't they the two that were talking about like, well, our concept's so different, Aurora and Pie, or was that Vivian Majesty?
That might have been Vivian Majesty.
Either way, nobody did an insanely different concept when they did the same holiday. The concept was the same for both of them.
I do think that Vivi and Majesty's looks are definitely more distinct.
Yeah, but I feel like the concept is like, America's gross.
Yeah.
That's kind of as deep as it goes.
But anyways, for Pie, I still give it a slay. It's really well done.
I'm going to give it an A.
You're going to give it an A? Okay. I give it a slay just
know.
because I think it does fulfill the objective. And it does
I feel like
look gross and good. Good gross.
If we're looking at like the whole spectrum of the looks we saw today, there's a big gap between like Desiree, who's like all the way down at the bottom, and then like Asia, that's like miles ahead.
Well, I think Pie still scores much higher to the top of that chart than Desiree's look.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I think Pie is still like below the middle line.
I think it's a passing grade for me. It's a passing
safe,
slay.
but only because of it's graded on a scale because Desiree's there.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a curve to this grading. But yeah, no, it's not my favorite. I'm going to give it an A. Sorry. I think what I'm learning about Pie is I don't really like their style. And that's not really their fault. This is kind of what they do, is these sort of like campy, like they like to play with proportions and shapes on their body and stuff. And that's fun. But to me, it doesn't look good. It's yet to be like, it's yet to wow me. And she's had like 4 chances now. So I don't love it. I don't like it.
I think it's in line with what Pie's been doing, which every single time I'm like, you look good.
See, I think it's actually worse than what she's presented previously. So I don't know.
Okay.
It's not my favorite.
Well,
nay.
Up next is Vivi, who's coming out as 4th of July, the first of the 4th of Julys. And it comes out as this like Uncle Sam pig bottom grilling up glizzies.
The glizzies.
And I dig the concept. I really do dig the concept. I don't love the actual technical application of like the prosthetics and makeup and gore.
The flatness of the prosthetics is really kind of frustrating.
It's not a lot of dimension. It's not shaded very well. Because like somebody who does prosthetics really well, Grey Matter does prosthetics is like as a main part of their drag, does a very good job at blending it into their face and making it look realistic.
And also, it's not even just blending it into the face, but also like there's a level of like people who do prosthetics all the time. You paint on the prosthetics.
Yeah, you detail onto it. You add, you color in, you shade it in. You like make it. You give it dimension because it's a blank. This looks like
it's just
you put the blank on, and then you put red around all the edges, and then
and that was kind of a
It's like once again, the idea as a whole, I dig. I really dig. It's like once again, Uncle Sam pig bottom. Like using a grill, you open it up, and the grill, instead of like sausages, it's like intestines and stuff spilling out onto the grill. I dig it. I like it.
I like the little dance she did.
Yeah, the dance was fun.
I think that for me, I liked the silhouette of the outfit. I feel like it was kind of fashionable and fun and campy. And the pig face does make it unsettling.
Yeah.
But I think it's like, when I look at something like what, I don't mean this in like a disparaging way, but it's like, it feels very much like the kind of character you would see in like your average, like a random small town's like haunted house type situation. And when you're comparing that to people like Asia, where it's like, that looks like something I would see in like a performance, like museum art piece, you know what I mean? It's like, it's just not quite at that level of elevation from a look perspective, but it is cool.
Well, that's just like, this is where we get into the point where I'm like, if I'm presented with either really polished look with no concept or cool concept, not really polished though, I'll take the unpolished conceptual look any day of the week. And
yeah,
so,
I guess sometimes I just want both, like what Asia's giving.
Yeah, but it's like, I still think it was a great idea and the bones are there. It just needed a better execution, but I'm going to give it a slay because I do like it.
I'll give it a slay too, because I do think it is in the upper tier of what we're seeing tonight. It's just, I don't think it's going to be super memorable, honestly.
Yeah.
I also just want to say in a greater way, I think that 4th of July and the concept of America there's a lot of directions you can go with that if you're going like for the darker side of things. You could talk about war, which I think is really, we'll get to that in a second, actually. Let's go to Majesty's, because Majesty's look, so a slay for me for Vivi. Majesty's look, also she did 4th of July as well. And I forgot about this. She posted, I mean, not she posted, but Bitch Puddin posted on Twitter the same look that Aurora did years ago. I forgot about that. Aurora basically did this exact same look with the Uncle Sam and the stilts and the pants. And what Aurora did was, instead of having like an American flag or whatever, she had 2 fucking automatic like machine guns, and she was like shooting at the audience, which to me, that's the right idea.
Yeah.
It's like, what does America love? War. What is 4th of July about? It's about winning a war, winning our independence. But it's like, it's also a good time to have a conversation about America, the way we treat weapons, guns, and also the way we treat other countries, the way we like profiteer off of war, the way that we are completely okay with Israel basically breaking all the rules of the Geneva Convention, and we still send them weapons. Like, there's so many political statements you can make about America and war, and neither of these went there. And I would say Majesty's didn't really go anywhere, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's very much like Majesty created a look that looks fine, and like, you know, you come out as like this George Washington looking zombie man in stilts with it's like, I could see this the like fashion mock-up for this look, and I'd be like, yeah, on paper that looks like a good look. But it's just like, once you get past that, it's like Majesty's whole thing was like, it was just like, unroll the flag and it's upside down and it says liberation is a lie, and then you like, did she piss on it?
I don't know.
I forgot what she did to it. I think she pissed on it. I don't remember.
Like, the problem with these kinds of looks for me is, one, there's already a photo of Aurora doing this better, which is always difficult, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, if you're pulling inspiration, whether she consciously was pulling inspiration from that, or whether it was like something in her subconscious and she didn't realize, like, oh shit, I'm recreating an Aurora look that is like, that everybody remembers. Because I forgot about that look until Bitch Puddin posted a picture of it. But it's like, it's quite literally the same look. except she didn't do it as well. It's like the same look without the political message behind the way the US thinks about war and weapons and stuff. So I don't know. Also, the liberty is a lie thing. I was like, ugh.
Comes off as like a pretentious art piece to me.
Yeah, and it's also like, what do you mean? Like, it's not really clear. Like, are we talking about taxes? Like, what are we talking about? Like, it's just,
are we talking about financial liberation? Are we not achieving? I don't know. I'm not Susie Orman.
Yeah, like generalized statements about America is bad are always really frustrating, because it's like, there's a lot of great things about America, and if we're not going to make
here we go, Trump 2024. Woo!
Oh my god, it looks like you literally threw that cup of Mountain Dew behind you. I was like, damn, you're really committed to the bit today. Yeah, no, I just think that, I don't know, if we're gonna talk about America, we're gonna talk about the problems in America. I would much rather have a serious, specific conversation about what specifically are we talking about here today.
Yeah.
And I guess like with Vivi, the conversations about like gluttony and meat. Vivi, sorry. It's like gluttony and meat and like that kind of stuff, which is fine. Like that's, I understand that as a criticism. It's just not very deep compared to like something that like, it's like we literally have somebody up on stage giving themselves an abortion.
You can't top the abortion.
Right. Like, it's like, that's the kind of political statement I want to see people making on Dragula. Like, this is Dragula.
Yeah.
The Boule Brothers let you come up on stage and like fuck a shitty asshole.
Anything.
You can do pretty much anything. Like, you could have literally come up on stage
and murder a person.
But you know what I mean? It's like they could have done a really serious like conversation about like gun reform in America.
Yeah,
like school shootings.
It just lacked a specific message, because obviously they were trying to send a message, but it was such a general message.
Right. And
America
it's like,
bad. I'm like, yeah, I get it. There's lots of things. Do you want to pick one to talk about, please?
Yeah. Agreed. Like, imagine if somebody did if your concept was like National Teachers Day, and it's like a teacher that's like armed for war. You know what I mean? It's like there's so many things you can do to talk about like actual problems in America, and like it's really not, it doesn't go there.
No.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, for me it's like, if you just look at the look and you presented me with this look, I'd be like, oh, that's kind of cool. You know, tall pants on stilts with this jacket. It's like the look is well thought out. I think the makeup looks good and all that kind of stuff. But
I do like stilts.
Yeah. It's like, if you just presented me with a still image of this, I could be like, oh, fashion, cool. But it just doesn't really go anywhere.
No. And also, Aurora did it better.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's a complete copy paste of Abora's look.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you've seen that picture of Aurora from back then, but it looks almost exactly the same.
So yeah, it's just a nay for me. I just thought it was
same.
Just didn't really go where I wanted it to.
Same. I want people to be making bigger statements. I guess that's really what I got out of this. Also, nobody did Christmas. Nobody did Christmas. Nobody did.
We got 2 repeats, but nobody did Christmas.
Right. Like, nobody did. There's also so many fun holidays you could have done. Like, you could have done like, I mean, there's a fucking national day for everything, right? You could have done.
I think they specifically want the big family holidays, they said.
Are there no like, I was kind of surprised we didn't get any like more cultural holidays like Hanukkah and stuff like that. Like, is there nobody in this cast that celebrates other than like basic Christian American holidays? Like,
well, it did seem like that's what the Boulets wanted.
I mean, Hanukkah's a pretty
I'm saying
celebrated holiday.
I'm just saying, like, beyond, like, that is one that is a typical family holiday here in America.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I guess I was just disappointed. But like Mother's Day is a weird one.
Yeah.
And it was the best one.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like we could definitely go in other directions, but it's like, whatever. Also, I would have loved to see. It's like I'm of two minds about this. It's like I'm disappointed nobody did the holiday I think everybody was expecting, which is Christmas, and I'm also disappointed that we didn't see more like niche fringe holidays out of the 10 people that performed.
Yeah, but anyways, we get our tops and bottoms, and the tops of the week were Asia, Gray Matter. And did they have a third one? Let me see. I don't think they did.
Vivi, I think. Vivi was top.
Was Vivi top?
I think so, yeah. I remember them talking to her.
High. Oh, yeah, Vivi got high. Gray Matter got high. Asia got high. And the winner is Asia Consent again. Woo!
Obviously. That's the funny thing is that Gray Matter is so talented and they keep ending up in the top, but I completely agree that unfortunately for Gray Matter, Asia keeps just slightly outdoing them
right out of their reach. And it's like, it's not like Gray Matter's doing bad. It's just, it's just somebody just does slightly better and it just edges them right out of the top. And it's like, ooh.
Yeah.
Because, like, you can tell Gray Matter's giving it their all, and it's showing. It's good.
Yeah, I think it just comes down to, like, the conceptual performances. Asia is giving Asia strikes me as the kind of person that has a lot of performance experience of doing this kind of things in like bars and clubs and whatever. Whereas Gray Matter, I have no idea. Maybe they do have a lot of performance experience, but it doesn't read on camera the same way. It's clear they have a lot of costume construction experience. Like their outfits have been incredible every week.
Well, their performances have also been very good. Like they're out there with tons of energy and they're always getting good critique on performance as well because they're always high energy and giving it their all.
I mean, I don't know. I thought this week they got a critique that it just wasn't enough. Like the performance just wasn't really.
No, they loved it.
Oh, really? I thought they said, like, why didn't you bring out rotten eggs and stuff?
Oh, well, they had their critiques about, like, oh, you could have done more with eggs or whatever, but, like
it should have been filthier, maybe?
Yeah, but they didn't have any critique about, like, the actual, like, energy of the performance. But unfortunately, the lows of the week, the bottoms, are Aurora for her haunted baby look, Yuri, not because the look, but because they just said they wanted to light a fire under their ass because they've been their performance, like their performances on the main stage on the floor show has been pretty low every week. And Desiree Dick because everything.
Yeah, there's not really there's nothing really saving this look, unfortunately.
But they send them they send them back to the cauldron so they can yell at each other.
I personally take issue with this decision. I understand what they're trying to do. I understand they're like, Yuri needs a fire lit under their ass, whatever, all that cliche bullshit. I think a conversation with Yuri about that would be enough. I think that's fine because this look was not in the bottom, period. No. My bottoms, sorry about it, would have been Desiree Dick's, Majesty. And yeah, Aurora can stay in the bottom, but Jaharia, Desiree Dick's, and Majesty. Those would have been my bottom three. I actually don't think Aurora.
I would agree. I was kind of shocked that Aurora was in the bottom. I thought it was like a safe look. I didn't think it was horrible. I think it wasn't amazing, but I was like, I thought it was still pretty good. I thought Jaharia was gonna be in the bottom. Or Majesty.
Yeah, because she just sat on a cake.
Yeah, because like the whole Filth aspect just wasn't really there.
Opened a flag. Like it's like she opened a flag and pissed on it. Like I think the bottom two should have been Desiree and Majesty. They should have been doing the skydiving together.
Yeah, so the extermination is skydiving. Which for me just seems fun. I've always wanted to go skydiving, but apparently both Desiree Dick again is scared of skydiving. Just like she was scared of needles, just like she was scared of everything else, apparently, so far. And Yuri has apparently been like, if they make me skydive, I'm not going to do it. And they're doing skydiving.
Yeah, and then we get the great moment in the cauldron where Desiree Dick throws raw chicken at Yuri.
Once again, Desiree Dick is being like, delusional as we love. I mean, as I love Desiree in the cauldron is one of my favorite things. Scylla and Desiree while they're in the cauldron was always like a fun time, and today did not disappoint because they start Desiree's trying to claim that her look is fashion. It's high.
Yeah.
She thinks she's
This is
giving
today's
Filth
claim.
and fashion, and everybody's like, literally everybody. There was a scene where everybody was just like staring at her and not saying anything, and there's a moment
it's a
where
level of delusion that is really wild to see.
I think this happens first, which is where Yuri opens up because people are like, what's going on with you, Yuri? We know you're better than this. Like, we all were looking forward to seeing you on the show. Like, what's going on in your head? And Yuri opens up about how like she made an attempt on her life like like not even a full years ago. It was like, I don't know, like 8 months ago or something. And it was like really hard. She's been in a really dark place, and she's finally starting to come out of it, and she doesn't really know who she it's a really hard, tough conversation to have, especially on TV. And it's really touching, and it's really deep. And then right after she's done, and somebody, I forgot who said it, but it was just like, well, we're really glad you're here, and you deserve to be here, and we love you. And then without missing a beat, Desiree goes, well, what about me? Don't I deserve to be here? Like,
okay, but here's the thing though. Now, and this is where Desiree Dix doesn't understand what's going on here.
Yeah.
So we're filming a TV show.
Yeah.
And not to sound callous, but I feel so bad for them and all that stuff, whatever. Like, I've dealt with that myself. I have a long history of depression and suicidal ideation. I get it. I understand what they're going through. I've had friends literally call me as they're about to commit suicide and I have to like talk them off the ledge. I get it. This is dark and fucked up, and it's really sad. However, what this also is a strategic play to stay in the competition. And this is how TV shows like this work. You bring up a plot narrative, and then you get to go on to the next week because nobody's going to want to eliminate you after you just opened up about your suicidal ideation. So while I feel bad for them, I also think that Desiree Dick is correct. They have to do something to bring the attention back on them. What they shouldn't do is sound callous and be like, but pay attention to me instead.
Yeah.
What they should do is come out with their own story, their own tragic background story immediately. Right after. You have to have something better.
Share your anecdote, yeah.
You have to talk about how you walked in on like your mother shooting herself in the face or something. Like, it's like literally like you have to do better at the game of like, I have a dark backstory, or else you're going home today because now we just got Yuri's dark backstory.
Yeah.
And like, I'm gonna be honest, like, I don't know all of the people in this room. I don't know any of the people in this room, to be completely honest, but I'm gonna be honest, like, I know a lot of people who are these types of performers, and I think a lot of these types of performers have had struggles with mental health issues, and I think a lot of them probably have some sort of experience with suicidal thinking, suicide attempts, etc. Not to diminish Yuri's story, but it's probably not that unique within the room, which is why everybody empathizes with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just think it's insane to just chime in with that after you share that kind of story. It's giving very like, kudos to you, mama. Thank you for spilling. Like, it's on that level of just complete callous insanity.
Yeah.
And it makes everybody go like, girl, what the?
Yeah.
And I forgot what happened between then and there, but like Yuri moves across the room to sit on the opposite couch. And they're like sniping at each other. And then Desiree ends up fully launching this raw, rotting, nasty chicken directly at Yuri's face.
Covered in salmonella.
Yeah.
Like, you have to understand, this is not a chicken that came right out of the freezer section of the fucking
it's been on set
Wigmans.
all day in Desiree's fucking picnic basket, rotting.
It is literally like rotting meat covered in bacteria, and she throws it at her fucking face.
It literally flies straight at her face, and thank God Yuri has fast reflexes, and like,
she deflected that shit.
She deflected that shit so fast, and then without missing a beat, takes her drink and chucks it across the room.
Counterattack.
I think she considered throwing the whole glass, but second thought that. But it was, I mean, it was the dramatic moment of the episode.
But I will say the drama of this, the best part is that the drink doesn't really hit Desiree because she's so far away. It just splashes like five
it's a full
other
splash
people.
zone. Everybody on that side of the room on that couch gets splashed.
So yeah, it's kind of, I don't think it had the effect that she wanted it to. But they get to go on the extermination together. They get on a plane together. They're going skydiving.
One thing I love about Desiree Dick in these situations, though, is most people would take the situation and they would continue to escalate it. So it's like, okay, I throw this at you. You throw the drink at me. I'm going to throw something else at you. We're going to start screaming. Desiree does this weird thing where she incites something and she yells and then she goes, okay. Like she suddenly reels back in and then just like is like, all right, cool.
I think it's because I think that Desiree is the type of person where she knows she's on TV. She knows she has a limited amount of time to make herself memorable and to create dramatic moments. It feels very strategic and like overproduced in a lot of ways. Like to me, it doesn't feel authentic. It's very much like
strange.
It's very much like the Shangela monologue where she throws a drink at Mimi I'm First. It feels very like canned and like I prepared this monologue, except there wasn't even a monologue. She just throws a chicken at her.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It was fine. I'm probably going to forget about it.
I'm not.
It was insane though.
I'm not going to forget about launching a raw chicken across the cauldron.
I mean, I'm sure Yuri won't.
But yeah, they have to immediately go and skydive. So I guess they filmed this early in the day because they were still in phase straight to the airfield where they go skydive and they look like they had a good time. Honestly, Yuri was scared, but like I think they had a good time.
I will say, like, I know people who go skydiving and people say it's very fun. I could never. I am terrified of heights. I also have serious motion sickness. I can't even get on like roller coasters. So I can't even imagine doing this. I would probably throw up and pass out.
I love heights. I would do this in a heartbeat. Yeah.
I think I conquered a lot of my fear of heights when I used to work in theater and I had to like hang lights and stuff like that. But I will say this is different. Like even just climbing like a tall building really gets to me because my instincts say you shouldn't be here. You deserve to be on the ground. So I would freak out. I actually don't know if I'd be able to do it, but that's why I'm not fucking trying to go on Dragula. Obviously they both did it. Good for them. And I think it was very much one of those cases where as long as they both did it, Yuri was going to stay. That's really all this was.
It's like the only way Yuri, and they kind of tease that by Yuri being like, well, I told myself if I was going to have to skydive, I wasn't going to do it. So I think that was like that was our tension of being like, oh my God, is Yuri actually going to go home over this? But
I will say, I do wonder, and I mean, comment below if you have any insight on this, if you've been on Dragula or you know people who have experienced this.
Asia, once again, we know you're watching. Tell us.
I mean, we have some friends that have been on Dragula. We can always ask them. But I wonder if the producers identified in some questionnaire or something that like Yuri's afraid of heights. So they put her in the bottom this week, even though, let's be real, she didn't deserve to be in the bottom. There's probably like 3 or 4 other people that did worse than her. I wonder if she ended up in the bottom also because she's afraid of heights and they knew that.
Possibly.
Do you think so?
Maybe.
We should ask Bitch Puddin'.
But yeah, we get the ending extermination scene where Desiree Dick wanders onto the set and gets blindsided by a camera on a boom arm. And that's how she dies. And it was kind of anticlimactic.
Lame. These executions,
the first one was good. And then the rest of them just were, the second 2 have just been kind of whatever.
Yeah.
Like I think Severity Stone got the best one on the first episode where she got chased through the set and the backlot. They got her face smashed through a mirror by a ghost boule.
Yeah, she at least got some prosthetics and stuff, but yeah, it wasn't. It was fine. So yeah, I guess so. Desiree Dix is gone. So despite the fact that I do believe that is the right choice from a competitive standpoint, unfortunately, she was kind of the last really dramatic character of the series. So
yeah,
we're down to.
I really don't know who's going to be stirring the pot from now on.
Yeah, I guess maybe Aurora and Auntie. They have some backstory lore together.
They don't seem to hate each other though.
They don't, but Auntie, I mean, it has come up a couple times that like Auntie is like a very like aggressive drag mom that doesn't seem to like care for her drag children.
Well, Aurora's not one of her children.
Oh, I thought they were related.
No. They just work in Chicago together. Scylla was her daughter.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because that was something that had come up though, is just like Auntie Heroin's sort of like lack of maternal instincts as a drag parent, which is kind of an interesting thing to criticize people on, because it's like, I mean, you have a drag parent, right?
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't she like clock the fuck out of you if you look like shit?
She doesn't. She's not out there to protect any of us. She's like, you fend for yourself, bitch.
I feel like if you ended up in a competition with her, I'm assuming she would not be there like helping you along. She'd be like, I gotta get this bitch out.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't feel like that's really like any real drama, but they kind of played on that a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where this alliance thing goes. They keep focusing on it.
Oh yeah, during when they were getting ready, and Asia put a like ultimatum, like a deadline on the alliance by telling Pi it had to be done by the end of the week. And on the last day when they're getting ready for the floor show, this was another stupid moment that was kind of like, okay, fine, whatever. Asia's like making eyes at Pi in the work in like the boudoir, like.
Yeah, they're having the most like completely not inconspicuous like non-verbal conversation across the room from each other, and for some reason nobody notices this bizarre. I don't think anybody
cares.
Yeah, well, because what the fuck are you gonna do? Like, what are you gonna do as an alliance? Like, there's literally,
I guess, like not curse each other. But that's
I guess. I mean, we are gonna have some group challenges. I'm assuming they always do the rock band challenge, so I'm sure there might be some uses for it.
But also saying like, yeah, let's do the alliance. So I guess we got an alliance.
If I was Asia, I would want to do an alliance with Grey Matter.
Yeah.
I think that's smart, right? Because it's like, now looking at what we have going on here, I'm actually going to switch my top 3 to Asia, Grey Matter, Yuri. I think that's my top 3.
Yeah, those are my top 3.
So I would want to ally with somebody else that I see in the top 3, because then you can kind of systematically take out other people and then just hope in the end that like you're better than your alliance, right? Because I think that the problem with allying with somebody that is in a lot of ways not doing as well as you in the competition is that they could go home next week, and then what happens to your fucking alliance? Like, you want to have like a long-term alliance, right?
Yeah, ultimately these are people you want to get to the end with.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, Pi. I don't really see Pi getting to the end in this group. Not at the moment. I mean, maybe they'll surprise me, but so far, Pi has not done anything to impress me, and I've been thoroughly impressed by... What?
Surprise.
Yeah, surprise me. Yeah, I've been thoroughly impressed by the other 3, so... We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I'm hard rooting for Asia at this point.
Like, same, but I'm also low-key kind of holding out hope for Vivi. For something about Vivi, I like them. They've grown on me, and I kind of want to see what they do next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about the episode as a whole?
I don't know. I don't like Filth episodes, honestly. Never do. I think they're gross. I think a lot of this episode I spent literally looking away. At one point when they were throwing up, it was just a montage of them throwing up. I had to take off my headphones because I'm the kind of person where if I hear somebody throwing up, I will throw up. It's just like a natural reaction. So I literally could not watch or listen to a large section of the mini challenge.
I thought it was an okay episode. I mean, it was an okay episode that led us to Asia Consent's look of the week, and that's enough for me. It was all worth it to get there. If it produced this outfit, I'm happy.
Agreed. I saw this on Twitter recently. People are fighting over like whether or not it's okay to kill children in horror movies.
How do we get?
I'm not even joking. Well, because she did a dead baby look.
Oh.
And I think that is the stupidest conversation ever. Like, of course it's okay to kill children in horror movies. Horror movies are about fear. Yeah,
like,
do
that's things
the
that are
point.
Scary.
Yeah, some of the best horror movies are about killing children. I mean, Pet Sematary, it's literally about like the horror of neglecting your child and then they die. Like, that's the whole movie. That's terrifying. Why would we not kill children in horror movies. Like, what is this? Why does everything have to be so sanitized these days? I'm so tired of the internet. I'm tired of everything being censored and sanitized. Remember when horror was just fucked up and that was fine?
I do.
Anyway. I think it has to do with, I'm going to be honest, I haven't seen it yet, Terrifier 3. I think it had something to do with that.
Oh.
Like, no spoilers, but, like, I feel like that's what sparked the conversation. I'm assuming Art the Clown, like, massacres children or something.
We can only hope.
Probably. All right, well, anyway, I guess that's all.
Yeah.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Check out our
what did you guys
Patreon.
think?
You can watch
Who
our
was your
watch
favorite?
parties.
Comment below who your favorite
Who do you think
was.
should have gone home?
Yeah, we also have a Patreon. Patreon supporters get to watch everything live with us. We do live watch
Do
parties.
you eat
multiple times
chicken
per
at
week.
Thanksgiving? Let us know.
I have, back before I was vegan. My parents would actually make chicken.
Okay. An American.
My dad would get a rotisserie chicken. What?
Goodbye.
Is it un-American? Okay, great. Bye.